Welcome back, Game community. I'm Pierre here to help you with some waiver wire options for pitchers heading into week 8 of the season. So let's get to it. Starting with a guy that I've got rostered on a few leagues already, and that is Ashby. So look, Brewers fans, bad news is Freddie Peralta is injured, going to be out. It looks like a significant amount of time, several weeks at least right now. But the good news is Ashby finally gets a chance to show what he can do in the rotation. So he just had his first start tonight, and he did pretty well. 5 2/3 innings, no earned runs allowed, only 4 hits. This is a guy who's very talented. We've seen him at spot starts, do pretty well. He's also come in relief, had some long relief outings. Very effective, but we just wish he'd get a shot, right? And so finally, he's going to be able to be a fixture in that rotation, which is turning out to be one of the best in the National League. Even though Brandon Woodruff is taking a little bit of a step back and now Peralta's out, I think they won't really miss much of a beat with Ashby. So he's available in 2/3 of fantasy leagues right now, and even better, he qualifies at both starting pitcher and relief pitcher, so you can kind of throw him in there if you want to pile up more innings in your relief pitcher spot, even though he's a starter now. So go ahead and add Ashby if he's out there. Another young pitcher just joining the rotation this time for Pittsburgh is Roansy Contreras. So this is a player really exciting, one of those flamethrowers, gets up to 98 miles per hour in his fastball, and finally, even after just a couple of really relief outings, finally going to get to show what he can do. Made his first start the other day as a major leaguer, and it went pretty well, went 5 scoreless innings. So this is somebody who you've got to think might not go as long because he's a young arm, a hard throw. We don't want him, of course, to get injured. So the Pirates, not being a contender, again, they're probably going to keep him at 5, 6 max innings. But these days, that's not a big deal again because there's not a lot of starting pitchers who really go beyond that. This is a guy who's definitely going to be worth it because of the K upside. And playing in the NL Central, that's pretty good for him schedule-wise because he gets to play some of the worst offenses in the league, like the Reds, the Cubs, not doing too great. Unfortunately, he can't pitch against his own Pirates. But overall, pretty good for him. So go ahead and add Contreras and take a chance on his upside. Speaking of flamethrowers, remember Hunter Greene? This is a guy who throws harder, I think it's pretty safe to say, than anybody in the majors. A guy who can hit 102, maybe 103. Who knows? He probably hasn't even reached his potential yet. So he was a solid pickup early in the season, and then loss after loss after loss. We've been talking about the Reds and how bad they are. It's real. 6 times in a row he went out there and took the L, and a lot of it was his own fault, not just lack of run support. After looking really strong the first couple of starts, for some reason he just lost it. He had some erratic control. Looks like hitters were able to wait back on the fastball, and he started using his slider more, and that's just an effective weapon for him. That could be his out pitch. So he finally figured it out. Of course, had that no-hit bid going through 7 innings, and since then he's had 3 straight really strong starts. It looks like he's figured things out. And so he's going to keep getting a shot. He's going to stick in there. Look, a lot of people did drop him after that rough patch, and I don't blame them, but he's too talented to let go. So if somebody did let go of him in your league, I think it's worth it. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to have the occasional rough start, but it looks like he's figured out. There's no pitcher that's going to be out there that's more talented than him. I say it's worth it. So Hunter Greene is somebody I would recommend. All right, enough exciting young pitchers. Let's get to the crusty old veterans. Let's start with Alex Cobb, the player who absolutely, certainly is the most unlucky man in Major League Baseball. It's actually ridiculous if you look at it. Okay, so in StatCast, you have a bunch of expected or X stats, right? How you should be doing versus how you actually are doing. If you look at Alex Cobb's numbers, you will look away quickly and never turn back. You say, why would I want this guy in fantasy? He has a 6.25 ERA. But if you look at his stats, his StatCast page, it's all red. It's really good. He's among the league leaders in almost every category, which is insane. He's got career bests also across the board. 29% hard hit rate, which is really low. He is career best, 27.7% K rate. Never known to be a high strikeout pitcher, but all of a sudden he's seen a spike in strikeouts. Okay, so he's got a 6.25 ERA. His expected ERA, what he should be getting, is 1.92. That's how huge a difference is. If you watched the game the other day against the Mets, all these bloop singles that are falling in, these fielding errors is bad luck. You can't even explain how this happened. I don't think I've ever seen such a huge discrepancy, but whatever the case is, Cobb is actually pitching really well, okay? And that's what you want to look for. So look past the actual surface stats. Cobb is a guy you should be, if anything, picking up. I bet you a lot of people dropped him after his latest outing because, again, gave up several runs. Not all his fault, okay? So Cobb is out there in 55% of Yahoo leagues, okay? Might be even higher in some other formats. So I would go ahead and add Cobb now. You probably will not be disappointed, at least not as disappointed as he has been so far this year. Now, what about a former Giant in Johnny Cueto? Remember him? Longtime Red, then with the Giants. Wasn't with any team to begin this season, was a free agent until just a couple weeks ago, and now he's with the White Sox. All right, so obviously being in San Francisco's home park is a lot better of a situation, but so far Cueto hasn't missed a beat. Looks like he didn't really need all that spring training and first 2 months of the season. He's had 2 starts as a White Sox, and he's gone 6 scoreless each time. And even more, encouraging is the fact this is not a high strikeout pitcher really ever, except for maybe right in his prime, which was 10 years ago. So far, he's striking out a batter per inning. This is a different league, always in the National League. Maybe the hitters in the AL just don't know him well enough, and they haven't seen him yet this year. So also, you got to figure in the fact that he's in the AL Central. That will work to his benefit. Gets to face some lesser offenses like Detroit, one of the worst in the majors, like Cleveland, definitely not a thriving offense there. So I think that Cueto could be kind of a sneaky add here. He's available in a lot of leagues. He's got some name recognition, but people really haven't been on him because, well, he just signed so late. So Cueto's somebody that will not kill your ERA. At some point, yeah, he's going to stop giving up scoreless outings, but he's not going to ever get completely destroyed. So he could be a solid source of ratios. Hopefully, can strike out a batter per inning as he's been doing. So somebody that you maybe have a little bit less risk than one of these young arms. So Johnny Cueto, worth a look. And then in the reliever front, not a lot of new closers this week, but there is one who just hit the shelf. That's Andrew Kittredge in Tampa Bay. So you think Brooks Raley might be next in line, and he would be a solid add. But I'm actually going to look a little farther, look at a guy named Jeffrey Springs. He's a 29-year-old. He's somebody who has kind of emerged. Look, every year there's a guy in Tampa's bullpen who comes out of absolutely nowhere and racks up 20 saves. Springs has kind of been that so far. In the early part of the season, 1.32 ERA. He's striking out a batter per inning. He will probably pick up an odd save here or there, if not become that guy who just all of a sudden takes over out of nowhere, or at least has a stretch where maybe 1 or 2 weeks he'll pick up 5 saves. So Springs is someone that you might consider adding, even if you don't assume he'll get those saves. He could help you out in the bullpen. So look at Jeffrey Springs, and again, Brooks Raley, maybe Jason Adam, a couple of names there in Tampa Bay that are worth considering. All right, that's all I got this week. Those are the pitchers I think are worth adding or looking at in the waiver wire. Hopefully this helps. Check out the Hitter Edition too. Check us out each and every week. Always here to help. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.